Good evening and welcome everyone. Happy that you're back after your holidays, and yeah, Happy New Year. I hope you had a good break. Whatever you were doing, hopefully you managed to do some meditation, or maybe it didn't work at all because you were out of your normal routine and just lost the practice of it. But it doesn't matter. It's a good time to get going again. So I have looked at who's present in the room, and it looks like most of you or all of you have done Sahaja Yoga at some point in the past. If I have missed someone has never ever done Sahaja Yoga ever, please could you raise your hand by raising the hand in reactions. But I believe that you have all had some experience of Sahaja Yoga in the past. So my name is Metta. I'm based in London. I'm of Swedish origin, and I've been doing Sahaja Yoga for many years. And I'm very happy to be here tonight to meditate with you. So, as you know by now, the main thing that we do in Sahaja Yoga is the meditation. So, and we want to really try to get together and go into a deep state of meditation this evening. The program will be about an hour. We will have at the end, I thought today we could do some questions and answers. Yes. So I will then ask other participants tonight who've been doing this for a number of years to please unmute themselves so we can all have a sort of answer and questions together. So it's not just me answering the questions. And you will probably remember that the last time we met before Christmas, if I'm not mistaken, we talked about the base chakra, the Muladhara chakra. And it's a big subject. We spent quite some time, 2 weeks we spent on the Muladhara chakra, so we decided to move on to the second chakra. And if I could please have the first slide, just so everyone can be familiar with the subtle system again. So you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the second chakra. Let's see if it's coming up. We haven't really talked that much about the different channels that we have. So if you look at this map of the body, which is showing the subtle system, this system of energy centers and energy channels within us, you may see that there are 3 channels. We talked about this a little bit. You got the left channel, the central channel, exactly in the middle, and then you have the right channel, which is the yellow one. And to be I'm not going to go into the channels tonight too much, but to quickly explain this because it's relevant when I talk about the Swadisthana, the second chakra. Is the left side, as you can see, it's the blue channel. It relates to our past, our emotions. It's the feminine side in both men and women. And we have the right side, it's the yellow one, which is the futuristic side in all of us, the planning, thinking, and it is also to do with, I think I lost Astik now. It has to do with, it's the masculine side in both men and women. So if you saw on that chart, maybe I can share it, but I don't think I can. The chakras all have 3 aspects. All the energy centers have 3 aspects, one on the left, one on the center, and one on the right. And today we are, as I said, we're going to talk about the second chakra, the Swadisthana Chakra, which is based in the aortic plexus, which is the nerve plexus just above the sacrum bone. And that's kind of on the hip level of the hips, if you imagine, just down on the hip bones. That's the level where this chakra is. And you have the center, right, the middle of the body, of the trunk, and then you have the left and the right. This chakra then has 3 aspects, and it's quite a complex chakra. It has many different qualities and aspects. So I thought I'm just going to start to focus on the right side. So again, we don't quite have the slide up at the moment, so I will, okay, he's back. Talk about, so the right side, as we were talking about, is the futuristic side, the planning, the doing, the action side in both men and women. So when we talk about the Swadhisthana on the right side, it has those qualities. The Swadhisthana, the second chakra on the right side, is the seat of our attention. the general quality of the Swadhisthana, we normally say, is creativity and aesthetics. So when the Kundalini awakens and rises through us, all these qualities are hopefully awakened within us. So when the Kundalini awakens and clears the Swadhisthana Chakra, our creativity is increased. That's the center, that's the general center of Swadhisthana, is creativity. Specifically on the right side, it's very interesting. It's where the right Swadhisthana is the seat of our attention. And I think by now you've realized that we talk a lot about the attention. Our goal is to go into meditation, right? And we need to go into thoughtless awareness to be able to meditate. And as you probably have experienced by now, it's impossible to overpower the mind with the mind. You can't make your mind stop thinking. So the Kundalini passes through at this point, creates a gap, and can come through, brings us into the meditation. But for this, we have to have pure attention. If our attention is going left, right, and center all the time, then we cannot be focused, and this happening cannot occur. So that's why in Sahaja Yoga we talk about pure attention all the time. And we can affect this. We can actually help ourselves by keeping our attention pure. And I think in this day and age we're all very very aware of how our attention can be hijacked all the time. Like mine is right now because of this, And I think we are easily distracted, and the attention goes all over the place all the time, and it's hard to stay focused, just like I experienced now when my phone was going off. So we need to be careful with our attention. We have to make sure that we pay attention in the right place to the right things, just to keep it pure, right? And we have the screen here again. You see on the second, where it's yellow, it says creativity. And on the yellow side, on the right side, there is the chakra we're talking about now. Perhaps we can move on to the second slide. It just shows a little bit more about where we are. There we go. So the Swadhisthana Chakra has 6 petals, so 6 aspects. I'm still talking about the general. You can talk, if you want to know, you can see that it's related to Wednesday. The color is yellow. The country in the world is Africa. The element is fire. There's a gemstone associated with it. It's the amethyst. The symbol, as you can see, is the Star of David, and the planet associated with it is Mercury. And if we look at the next slide, here you can see that you may know this already, that the Swadhisthana Chakra correlates to the thumbs. So if you feel tingling, prickling, heat, anything in your thumbs, you know that it's the second chakra, the Swadhisthana Chakra, that has a little bit of a blockage, which needs a little bit of attention. And the organs that are controlled by the second chakra, the Swadhisthana, is, as you can see, the liver, pancreas, spleen, and kidney. And the interesting thing is, we may be familiar with the expression of being liverish, a little bit irritable, sort of easy, bad-tempered and stuff. And the liver is the seat of the attention on the right side of the Swadhisthana. And in Sahaja Yoga, we find that it's quite important to perhaps make sure that the liver is happy. And things that can affect the liver, and you might have experienced this over the holidays, is heavy food, actually. Anything, we all know that the liver is the main detoxification organ in the body. So anything that sort of clogs up the liver will actually affect our attention. And an obvious example would be coffee. I'm not saying that you shouldn't drink coffee, but it's an interesting thing to observe how our attention is affected by coffee. Of course, it's the caffeine racing through the body affecting us, but it's also the liver having to work extra hard to detox. So if we feel that our attention is not where we would like it to be, we may need to just look at how our diet is. So in Sahaja Yoga, we don't say that there is a diet. Everyone is individual. We have a lot of different balances and imbalances. So someone who is much more on the left side may need to eat much more protein than someone who's very much on the right side all the time. So we're not saying that this or that is the right thing to do, but what we can encourage you to do is experiment and see what works for you. So, for example, I have this thing that I love, strong Earl Grey tea. And if I drink too much, I feel straight away that my attention is affected. So I have to be careful. Doesn't mean that I'm not drinking it, but I make sure that it's under control. And you can do this as well. Just experiment with different foods if you feel that your attention is not quite where it should be. So our attention is absolutely important. What do I mean by attention? Attention is this kind of it's the focus or the concentration minus any thought, right? So it's being absolutely focused on something, but not thinking. And when we have pure attention, it's absolutely magical what it can do. As many of you experience now, is when we go into meditation, when we pass through the Agya, we go into Sahasrara, we become collectively conscious. And our attention is then collective, and it can actually affect things if we put our attention on things. So, for example, if you think about, if you've been to a Sahaja Yoga meeting in person or even perhaps online, but in person, when we work on each other, we put our hands out, and we put our attention on the person that we are working on, and we can then feel the energy centers where there might be a blockage. We can obviously do it on ourselves as well. Therefore, it's so important that we don't flitter our attention, right? And even things like we talk about the foods that could, or drinks or whatever, that kind of thing, or even maybe some, things like too much medication can heat up the liver, and it's hard to stay focused. So that's one way of looking after the liver. Also, be careful with how much time you spend on this, for example, because it really distracts us. Just see if you can keep your attention a little bit more focused. And this is basically so we can go into meditation, because that's what we're looking at. So we were saying the liver controls, no, the Swadisthana controls the liver and the pancreas and the kidneys. So those are the organs that are controlled by the right Swadhisthana. If we could have the next slide, I think we have some other details. Oh yeah, here you can see this is also not only on the thumbs. This chakra also manifests on the head here, on the upper arms, on the thighs, and it's the middle toes. It's slightly different on the feet. If we could have the next slide, please. And these are some things that can cause problems. So we focus on the right today, not so we don't get too much information. And stress, of course, it makes total sense. I think we can understand that. Excessive thinking. So this whole thinking, which can also heat up the liver, so it can go both ways. Too much thinking heats up the liver, and a hot liver creates too many thoughts. So if we're very futuristic in planning, those kind of things, I think you get the idea of what kind of personality could have this kind of issues with their attention. Okay, we'll have the next one, I think, please. Yes, and these are actually physical manifestations that can happen. Again, high blood pressure. We can imagine that that's something someone who's very stressed, has a problem with their focus of attention, can have. I think diarrhea is not quite right. I think it's actually the other way around, more of a constipation. And because it also controls the pancreas, the right Swadhisthana, overactivity with thinking, there's a correlation there to diabetes, actually. So, with all of this, I believe that's the last slide, or is there another slide? I can't remember. Yes, these are the qualities. So on the right side again, it's that pure attention, pure focus, dynamism, aesthetics, and abstract thinking. That makes sense as well, doesn't it? You're very focused. You can go into that abstract, and you can also get this sort of inspiration, spontaneous inspiration in creativity. So these are other reasons why we really want to keep this attention pure. We'll go to the next slide, please. There is one. Yes, no, that's not, we're going to use that. But so this is what we're doing today. We're going to pay attention and think about we're going to pay attention to our right Swadhisthana. And we'll do a meditation first, and then we're going to have a short video of Shri Mataji also talking about this pure attention. And then we'll have another meditation after that. And I think, as I said, we'll do some questions and answers at the very end. Everyone can join in. And I think most of you will know how to start. We're going to start with raising our Kundalini. And this is the movement where we take the hand in front, the left hand in front of the base of the spine, and we do this circular movement with the right hand going like this, all the way up to the top of the head. So you can do this all together. Do this 3 times. That was the first time. Second time, 2 knots. And 3 times. And then we describe this arc of protection over our body by taking vibrations from the left hand and describe an arch over our body. That's once. We do this 7 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this is now how we prepare for going into meditation. And Astiki, if we could please have the photograph of Shri Mataji on the screen, even though we will take our attention inside and close our eyes. You probably have experimented with meditating with the photograph of Shri Mataji. This is something that we encourage you to experiment with. You may find that it's easier to focus your attention when you get the vibrations, the very specific vibrations from Shri Mataji's photograph. You might find that it's easier to go into meditation. So we really invite you to experiment with this. Try with and try without and see what works best. But for now, we are actually going to close our eyes and we are going to take this focused attention inside. So we're not going to pay attention to what's going on outside. Hopefully you're in a fairly quiet place. But even if it wasn't, we could just decide to focus our attention inside. And if there are sounds or things happening outside, we just become a detached witness. We don't get engaged. Don't have to think about what's going on. We just become this detached witness. And we take our attention inside. To start off with, you can just take your attention on your breath. Just very naturally breathing in and out. And then you can make the breaths a little deeper, the exhalation a little slower. Don't worry if there are lots of thoughts coming at this point. That's fine. Just watch them. Just watch the thoughts come and go. The Kundalini will come up and will bring us into meditation. It'll clear that space in the forehead between the thoughts. Elongate that. Then the focus of our attention on top of our heads. We're just going to use our attention today, not use our hands so much. And see if you can just place your focused attention on top of your head, what we call the Sahasrara, the 7th chakra. Just observe. And without thinking, just pay attention to your hands. Your fingers, all the fingers correlate to the different chakras. Just see if there is a finger that has more tingle than the other, prickling or heat. You can see what your thumbs feel like. We keep our attention in Sahasrara, but we take our left hand and we place it on the right side on the Swadisthana Chakra, on the right Swadhisthana, the seat of our attention. We can just ask our Mother Kundalini, please give me pure attention. Please give me pure focused attention. Mother Kundalini, please cool down my right Swadhisthana. So we're giving vibrations to the chakra to help clear it, cool it down, so we can have a focused attention, so we can go into thoughtless awareness. Again, Mother Kundalini, please give me pure attention. Mother Kundalini, please cool down. Please purify my right Swadhisthana chakra, so I can have pure and still attention. You can put your hand back, so both hands are open on your laps. Just watch. So watch your attention. Has it been dragged away from where we are right now, in this moment, in this present moment? If so, try to bring it back gently, without effort, just resting on top of our heads. Again, check where your attention is. And we're going to try to keep the stillness of our attention as we watch a short video of Shri Mataji speaking beautifully of the importance of this pure attention. So just stay with the focus like this, the attention on the top of the head, and we watch the video.
So the basis or the essence of the Swadhisthana Chakra though is aesthetics, the force and the energy of Swadisthana Chakra is attention. If you have a wobbly attention, if your attention is 1 minute here, 1 minute there, if you have an attention by which you just can criticize others and cannot see your own faults, if you have an attention by which you show people that you are a frivolous, nonsensical person, then your Guru principle is wasted. It is the effort of Sahaja Yoga that is wasted, and your Guru's job is also wasted. Minimum of minimum. First, the attention has to be pure. But pure attention doesn't mean harshness. It doesn't mean asceticism. It doesn't mean disciplining your eyes like a blinkers of horse. But in all freedom, your attention to be concentrated. Where do we pay our attention the most? If we are honest, we can think on human level, we pay our attention to our children, to our wife, to our husbands, to our family, the relationships which are with love. So, when your attention has got the compassion and the love for another person, then only you can work out the realization of others. If you have to work out the realization of others, it has to be an intense love for another person. If you don't have that intensity, you are just moving your hands, raising the Kundalini because your mother has given you powers and it's finished off. That intensity of love can only give you success with your pure attention, and I think the pure attention can only love. Impure attention cannot love, because all impure attention is self-oriented, I-oriented. They are not self in the sense, spiritual-oriented. But the idea that spirituality is love, it seems to be a new idea for many people. They think spirituality means a person who is just absolutely dry like a beanstalk, and nobody can go near that person, nobody can communicate with such a person because that person is too pure. If the soap cannot cleanse your body, what's the use of having the soap? If the soap is afraid to come near you, then it's better not to be called as soap. So, we come to the point that the creativity, if it is our aim, lakshya, for that the attention we should purify. And to be purified with love, with compassion. And the same attention, when it is filled with love and compassion, it gives you dynamism, it gives you strength, it's untiring, zeal you get. And the joy of seeing your reflection into another person is very beautiful. No words can describe it. Actually, when you give realization to another person, what you try to see is your image in that person. As if out of an ordinary glass, you are making it into a beautiful mirror. And then you want to see that. That is how you create. You create your own reflections, and through the cleansing of the reflectors, once you understand that without creativity, this Guru Puja is useless for you.
So let's stay together in meditation. You can close your eyes if you want now. Your focus on top of the head. Just gently bring back your attention. If you feel that it's wandering off, just bring it back to the top of your head. So this is the most important part of our meditation. We balanced ourselves. We've gone into this thoughtless awareness. So we're going to stay for a few more minutes just in silence. And just, again, I'm repeating this, just see where your attention is. You can keep it still at the Sahasrara. Watch the thoughts come and go for a few more moments. So you can slowly open your eyes if you feel like it, so we can come out of meditation. And we will, as we started meditation, we will raise the Kundalini and put on the bandhan. We can do that together. 3 times we raise the Kundalini. Tie a knot. Second time. 2 knots. And third time. Last time we do 3 knots. And then we describe the arc over ourselves 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We can bring our hands together, thanking our Mother Kundalini for allowing us to meditate together. Just before we go into, I think we'll do questions and answers. I did mention that we can help to keep our attention pure by looking after our liver, and we do that by just being aware of what we consume in terms of food and drink. You know, obviously, alcohol would be something that would really affect our attention, obviously. But we can experiment with what works. You know, heavy food, perhaps ultra processed foods, would be heavier for the liver to detox, and therefore we might have more difficulties going into meditation because our attention is affected. So if we feel like that we're feeling quite liverish and we can't settle down, then we have what we talked about, I think, in the very first session with Valeria. We talked about foot soaking. If you remember, this is when you take a bowl of water that you use exclusively for this purpose. And if you're feeling liverish, irritable, can't focus, you use slightly cooler water, because as we explained earlier, the right side is the futuristic energy side, and it heats up. So we need to cool it down. Yeah. So you can put your feet and foot soak with slightly cooler water, and that could help. Another thing that we can do is actually using an ice pack, and you can take whatever, you can take a frozen piece if you want, but just wrap it in the towel or something and just put it on the liver. When you meditate, you could combine this with the foot soak. That could be quite effective to cool down. So I encourage you to just experiment with these things and just see if your attention settles, if it's easier for you to go into meditation. Because we don't want to waste it. Our attention is, in this day and age, it's hijacked all the time, and I think everyone is aware of it. That our attention is being hijacked. There's a price on our attention, so we need to be very careful with that and just watch it. So I hope that was clear. Someone is asking if we can please show the first and second slide. We can definitely do that. So what we'll do now, we've got another about 15 minutes or so. We can have some questions and answers if you like. So I encourage anyone who wants to ask questions to unmute themselves and put your cameras on. And I also would love if the yogis, maybe Grajna and Christina, if you could also join in here. Anyone else who wants to answer the question, please do so. Let's see if anyone has a question. So you can unmute yourself, or you can put it in chats, whatever you want. We have something in chat here. Yes. So I think, Astik, could you please share the first and second slide, or you can put them in the chat so people can download them. I don't know how that works. So everyone's quiet and shy today. Everyone knows everything about the right Swadisthana Chakra. That's fantastic.
It's just fantastic to see you, Metta. You look very relaxed, and it just makes my attention like so good because I had such a heavy day.
Great. Well, I hope that everyone here has. Do you know what when we talk about attention, that you kind of know what we mean? Is this very focused concentration, but there is no mental activity. And this attention is really quite magical. You'll figure this out in your journey in Sahaja Yoga, how this attention is so important, and you don't want to waste it, right? And it's a beautiful thing. You can put your attention on your chakra. So this is the first thing we do when we work on ourselves. If we have blockages, as we talked about, you have your hands up, you feel tingling. Okay, so as an example, I put my little fingers up, that's my heart. I just put my attention on my center heart. And by doing so, I'm guiding my mother Kundalini. It's always the Kundalini who's doing all the work, all the clearing, all the balances, all those beautiful things. But by me putting my attention on it, I actually can encourage that to happen. And as I said, same thing when we work on other people, we put our attention on them and we can feel what their energy centers are. So that's why we really like to talk about this. So please experiment with ice packs if you feel like you have a very, very scattered attention. Put an ice pack on. Just make sure that you cover it with a sort of towel so you don't sort of burn the skin. You can try that one. Now we have a question, and is that how does Ekadesha Rudra relate to Guru Tattva? When you take names of Ekadesha Rudra, should it be on the forehead? So I'm not going to go into this today, if that's okay, Mandeep, because we're going to actually spend a whole session on the chakras up here, yeah? So just for the sake of keeping some things a little simpler today, is that okay? I hope you don't mind, just to keep it simple. And that's what we're going to do next week. We're going to focus on the center Swadhisthana, which is the center of our creativity, amongst other things. We are now, another question is for Mia, will we continue the Zoom sessions? Yes, we are going to continue these sessions every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And we're going to go through the chakras as we have done so far. So we had 2 sessions on Muladhara, and this is the first session on Swadhisthana. And we'll probably have maybe 2 more on the Swadhisthana, so center and left Swadhisthana. And we will do either what we do today, as we're doing questions and answers, but everyone knows everything, so we have no questions. Or we can do a breakout room. So you can tell me what you like. Do you prefer breakout rooms to chat in smaller groups? That's absolutely fine. We can do that as well. Or maybe you're all so much in meditation that you just don't have any questions. It's also good. I hope that you find time in your day to do your regular meditation. This is like, the more you do it, it's an accumulative effect. We have a question. Daisy says, hi, thanks for the sessions. I've missed the previous sessions. Is there a possibility that I can watch them? Astik, are they recorded? And if so, where can they be found? I'm not quite sure about that. I think they are available. So I'm relying on Astik, who is our tech guru for this.
Yeah, they are available. So we will be sending the link.
Okay, will you be sending them to the different groups?
Yeah, in the groups we'll send. We'll make a playlist on YouTube and then share. I think that will be better.
Amazing. Thank you. That's fantastic. That can be followed up. And yes, that you find the time in the day to do your meditation, because it's accumulative. It's kind of like, you know, like you brush your teeth. You don't do it just 2 hours on a Sunday. You do it every day, morning and evening, hopefully, to keep that cleansing going. So please experiment with that. And as I said, experiment with a photograph of Shri Mataji and see if that can help your focus of attention. Experiment with what you eat or drink, perhaps, and see if that changes the way that your meditation goes. I know for sure that it does for me. Daisy says, how can I be added to the group in order to get the link? Again, I have to ask Astik. It's the group on the WhatsApp group, isn't it? Excuse me.
Yeah, I can share a link on the chat.
Fantastic. Yeah. So Daisy, you can just join via the link that we'll share right now. So see if there's any other questions. So the idea is we're teaching you about all these chakras and energy centers and the aspects of the qualities, and even what gemstones is correlating to these different chakras. But this is in the essence, it is to help you to clear out, to balance your energy centers, so you can go into meditation. So in the end, it's always about that meditation and to be in thoughtless awareness, fully aware, but there are no thoughts. And for this, we need to have pure attention. So Daisy, if you want to click on that link in the chat, or anyone else who has not joined the groups, please do so. So I think what we'll do is we'll just, for the next 8 minutes, we'll keep the chat open so people can copy that link. We'll just put some music on and the photograph of Shri Mataji. Anyone who wants just to stay, meditate for a few minutes, please do so. And we really look forward to seeing you all next week. Same time, same link, 8 o'clock on Wednesday, and we shall be talking about Center Swadisthana. So really looking forward to see you all again, and thank you so much for coming this evening. Have a great week. Bye now.
Thank you, Mata.